Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. How y'all doing? Appreciate those likes as well. Everybody that's joining, we see you. Can I get a phone? Can I get a book for this? I forgot. Appreciate y'all sliding through. What's good with y'all? What's going on? What's going on? We're gonna start around 9 o'clock. We went live early just to get y'all hyped up and ready for the situation. Echo, play Saucy Santana.
Shuffling songs by Saucy Santana.
No. I'm gonna give y'all a little mood. I don't think we might not get in trouble for this. I'm gonna keep it, keep it in the background a little bit. You feel me? I don't wanna get in trouble or nothing. Good low. My hips, man, you dip. Put your hands up. Appreciate that.
Hey y'all, can everybody hear me?
We hear you. Hey.
What's going on? Guys, if you have questions for our guests, go ahead. You can go ahead and submit your questions. We'll do that at the end of the interview. Thank you all for stopping by. We really appreciate you. Make sure you guys have subscribed to Origin TV.
Yes.
Check out I'm Tired of Stripping. Immediately after this interview, we'll be interviewing So Irie. She was a guest on season 1 of Tired of Stripping. And we're going to interview her to recap with her to see what she got going on.
Yes, that sounds great.
So while you
Let's
in
stick
here,
around for that.
like, share, and subscribe.
Yes. For real, get into it too. I'm so hype about everything. I've done a little bit of my own little research around some of the girl stories, and it's wow. It's a lot. So I'm happy that the girls are coming back to recap on what the interviews that you've done with them prior. So it's exciting. I'm excited for it. Thankful to be a part of something great. is definitely not talked about enough. Not enough people are educated on what goes on.
Exactly.
It's a whole different lifestyle for people. To keep it real, like, on the part of like outside looking in, and then actually living it. So I appreciate you having the bravery to do it.
The bravery.
For real, yeah.
Um,
People,
somebody.
I feel like people scared. I feel like people are scared to even talk about this type of stuff. To ask the questions. They don't
Yes.
want to offend people, or they don't want, that type of fear.
Everybody
You,
fucking, but sex work is so taboo.
right, yeah, right, yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. To be viewed,
Absolutely.
for me, it's to be viewed more than actually engage with. So I have more people that view me than actually talk or interact with with me as a content creator. So it's interesting being a male, in this as well. It gives it a lot of different. But then being open minded as I am, it doesn't. I guess it kind of makes it more interesting, more
Mm.
fun. More fun. I'm gonna say that. I have a
So
lot more fun.
if you're in here for the show, go ahead and press 22 for me.
Yes, if you're here for the show, please. Let's put that 22 in this.
Let's see who's in here.
Let's see those 22s. I see a few viewers. Let's see who in here with us.
Hi,
Young, you in here?
are you, baby?
Hey, Rainy.
Chantel, what's up, baby?
Hey, Chantel. Appreciate y'all for sliding.
Shadida, you still in here? You guys press 22 if you're in the live.
Yes, yes. There she go. There's the beautiful cookie. The beautiful cookie. She's like, I got the lashes. Okay. She's like, I got the lashes today, baby. Okay, don't be playing with my girl, okay?
Work.
Hey, do it. She's like, I slay them at work, slay them when I get home. Okay. Slay. Hey, y'all.
What's up, Super?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited.
Everybody that's in here, I know this isn't a part of your job description, but I need you to go ahead and share the live for me, please.
Let me share it again. Share it to some of my fellow content creators. I see y'all coming through. What's good with y'all? See them views going up. Simpleton. What's going on, Simpleton? Appreciate you. Yeah, push that 22 if y'all in here. Miss Cookie has asked. I'm gonna ask again.
Thank you very much.
No problem. No problem. I'm gonna keep it pushing for real. And I
What
want
do you
all these
got?
shows to be successful here on the IG. Hmm?
Timmy, what's up, baby?
Appreciate y'all being here.
So super. So we got 5 minutes to showtime. So why don't you tell
Okay.
me who you are? Like, introduce yourself to the guests and let them know who you are, what you do, and how you got started and everything.
Okay. Okay, for everyone that may not know, I go by SupaXXX. I am 33 years old. I was born and raised in upstate New York, Western New York. Um, I'm my ethnicity background, I'm Jamaican and Native. Um, I'm the oldest of 6 kids. Both my parents, my biological father, I don't have a relationship with. My mother, I was raised by basically. I have a stepfather that was, did as much as he could, to be there for me. Really good healthy upbringing. I moved around a lot. How I got into sex work and stuff like that. I kind of have always been experimental, I guess. In my fashion, in my expression, and how I express myself, how I carry myself since I was a little kid. Even since Halloween costumes have always been a lot elaborate and shit. Like I've always wanted to, when I was my first remembering of being a costume, I wore a Dalmatians outfit, and my mom made it from scratch. Had the makeup all on my face, the black makeup, it was full, all the way down to my shoes. I had socks over my shoes, and I was detailed on how I wanted to look. So I've always been into photography, being into taking pictures of people, and also being behind the camera, being on camera and stuff like that. Since I was little, in high school, MySpace came out and stuff like that. I started being more popular on the internet, posting pictures of myself with shirtless and stuff like that, shirtless photos and shit like that. That's what I started with, and then Then it went into the soft nude around 18. I posted my first picture. I was a junior in high school. I was in the bathroom and I set my camera up and I just took pictures in the bathroom stall. Those are the first images of me nude that started going viral and stuff. Because at that time I did MySpace blogs. MySpace had a part where you can create a blog, and I wrote. Yeah, that's what I yeah. So I put a blog on there, and it was just me about me being exploring my sexuality, me being 18-year-old young black man, and how I was expressing my sexuality and how I was open to sharing my sexuality with others, sharing just my self pleasure. I was first. My first thing was self pleasure. I was masturbating for just the fun of it, really. And then I realized that I had an audience. I realized that I had an audience by around 21. I realized that I had
Now you were you was exploring yourself in masturbation. So what made you choose sex work? Being how long have you been in the industry first, and what made you decide that sex work is the route that you were going to take for your career?
Okay, so I began getting groomed around, we're gonna say 17, 18. It was around that time. But by 18 or whatever, a former student that went to my high school approached me about the MySpace picture or whatever. She wanted to know if I was real. She thought it was maybe photoshopped or whatever. So she also put me onto within the education realm of grooming and of this sex work thing being a part of.
Elaborate on that grooming. What did the grooming consist of?
Grooming consists of high school, high school aged folks, and these elite people, these powerful people, whatever, in the education field, would it be these fraternities or sororities and stuff like that. They also are a part of this thing of creating a perfect sex thing, object, really. I'm keeping it real. That's really what it is. It's about getting people to when they're young and impressionable to be impactful in their lives. So sometimes it's financial. A lot of the times it's opportunity, a better opportunity. If you do this thing, I'll give you a better opportunity type situation. And I was a part of that space because I was a performing artist. Performing artists in my city where I'm from are targeted for this. If you ever either good looks or like athletically, you know, things like being
Right.
good at stuff basically is the reason why people go after and want to groom you. I was okay with going into it to a certain level of it. I didn't. I'm not a conformist to the point where that's where it's really about that. It's really about leading a secret life and stuff like that. And that I wasn't into being secret about nothing that I did. So my first experiences was with a pastor in Rochester, a very well-known pastor, was like the first person that I started working with. And he would hire me on Fridays,
Uh-huh.
and
What were
I
you
would hang out with him. Huh?
what were you doing? You just worked as an
He would
escort?
he would give me oral sex. I would, you know, walk around in underwear and stuff like that. It would be just like a week, like every week thing, like a Friday thing. I
Was
would
that
come on,
pastor in New York?
huh?
Was the pastor in New York?
Yeah.
Who was the pastor?
Um, I'm not. I forget his. I can't even remember his name off the end. But
And
he
then you were still in high school at this time, right?
I was, yeah. I was like
So we're
a
17.
senior. Yeah, I was like a sophomore senior. Because my senior year, I ended up dropping out because of all this stuff. By the time the end of my junior year into my senior year, I had already had it. Like I got a name. I had a name. So going to school wasn't really a thing.
You had a name for sex work, correct?
Yeah, for
Or
sex work
okay.
and the sex. Yeah, and that part also put me in the position of like socially where people would only talk to me in certain spaces, you know, or wouldn't talk to me in certain spaces. So I for a while, around that time, I did it. I did it for like a good 2-3 years, but at the same time, I was still working on the road and I was doing electrical work and stuff like that. So I always had multiple forms of income. So I've never relied solely on sex work, but it's always been something that I had an option to do because of I guess the stuff that I've put out formally or whatever, because that
Mm-hmm.
I think that was something that people would always use as, oh, I seen your I've seen your content on this page, or I've seen it on this, you know, I've seen it in this space. um so that's the other part. Word of mouth very much has to do with a lot of the reason why I became successful, I guess, within sex work, or popular or whatever, or those things.
From 18 to 33, what's your body count?
Um, it's
Do
a
you
lot.
keep track?
I don't keep count. I don't keep count. And this is and it's kind of more complicated because of I have sex with females and males, and you know, folks that are not, you know, that are not cis male or female. So it I have a high body count. I'm gonna say that it's in the hundreds, definitely.
Right. That was leading up to my next question. I'm glad you explained that. So is that what you would call hetero flexible?
Yeah, heteroflexible, yes.
Give us a broader definition on what that is.
Okay, so for me, I know a lot of the like how people identify and stuff like that comes from like Eurocentric ideas and, you know, and things like that. So for my personally, I'm attracted to people, and usually the people that I'm attracted to have a certain personality, a certain energy about them that I'm attracted to, and it's also I'm not conformative to the idea of like heteronormacy or whatever, you know, what that is
Mhm.
supposed to be. So what I love or who I love or who loves me, I'm okay with it. You know, I embrace it. It is done more for me in a healthier way than it has in my experience of, you know, in living life, because I've never experienced anyone else's life. So like my experience in life, I've been able to be fortunate enough to be embraced by love in different ways. And it's not even sexually, only being sexually attracted or you know, attracted to people or physically attracted to people. It's about the combination of all of those things. And I
So
feel like it's more complex to be heteroflexible than it is to be heterosexual. Huh?
that's not being pansexual.
That's what I said. I feel like pan
Okay.
is more, yeah, pan is more of the actual sex act. And I'm more into not only looking at the sex acts, but looking at the emotional and mental aspect of my level of compassion, my level of like empathy and understanding as well.
Mm.
And it kind of maybe speaks to like my romantic side is a little bit different, and that's why I don't call myself pan.
Okay. So when you go live, and you are putting content out, is there an audience that you drive, that you look for, or are you just open to anybody
I'm
that you should?
open to, yeah, I feel like I've definitely always been open to um, people, just genuinely, because um, I, I really don't get as much feedback for the views that I have received. That people like that for the people that that could say, "Oh, I've seen him naked. I've seen him, do these things and stuff like that." I cannot say the same about how much information I know about the people that have watched me.
What about your where are you posted? What are all of your platforms that you work with?
Okay, so I'm on the mainstream platforms that everyone is, formally that know about Facebook and all those type of things. But I'm also on like adult content platforms like FetLife. Kick is another platform that was introduced to me by the kink lifestyle.
Hmm.
I use what else? Like Xtube. I've used Adult Space back in the day. I've used Rude.com. I've used what else there? X2 X videos. I've used what is it, Grinder. I've used all of the apps basically. Like if they have an app types, I've used it probably. Plenty of Fish. Um, but the time I spend on them and what I do for them on them and stuff like that is mostly business. I'm usually there to make a bag. That's about it. And
Speaking of the bag, how much money are you making? This is your career, correct?
mm-hmm,
Let's get this straight. This is your career.
mm-hmm,
How much
yeah.
how much money are you making with your creative career?
I've not, just because like recently I've just started back up. So in the last like year, I've brought in a few grand. Um, close to like I'm close to 15 grand, and that's just I just started back up in 2019 because I took a hiatus for like 5 years.
Okay.
Um,
What was
so,
was there anything that caused that hiatus? Did it
I was in a
happen?
relationship. I got in a relationship with a person that didn't want me doing that. I respected that person. I changed my lifestyle and I stopped posting and stuff like that. But it was hard. I'm gonna keep it real. I wasn't happy. I became unhappy. I started
Hmm.
becoming started becoming unhappy, and it's just like um, this was something that was bringing me happiness for real. And they're like, and it was kind of like an ultimatum thing with me. They tried to give me an ultimatum. I'm just like, you can't give me an
Right.
ultimatum. I'm definitely going to pick this, because this is my passion, and the part of like my success around other things, because I'm also like a community organizer and activist. So it's just like on top of me being a sex worker, I also serve my community in other ways. So it's just like I'm not a one trick pony, and that's the other reason why I can do what I did with I hated hiatus and come back and still make the money that I've made, even if it's not exclusively sex work, because I've made some of that money through live streaming, just live broadcasting and making income that way. So I've made a few grands that way too.
When you say you were unhappy from not doing what you wanted to do?
Yeah, really. And being, and kind of being like, suppressing how I felt, suppressing, especially on the part of like them being like upset about like people being attracted to me, you know, like I'm okay with people giving me attention or people, you know, giving me compliments and stuff like that, you know, and it's very distasteful, especially when a person like speaks on like, oh, like how they're like, okay with me being, you know, hetero-flexible and stuff like that, and me, you know, me have had sexual experiences with men and stuff like that, but then to turn around and like have an issue with trans folks or like gay men complimenting me and me like smiling and like, you know, and like flirting back, and it's just like, what do you mean? Like, if this was to happen to a, like, you're a woman, if a guy was to flirt with you and he's someone that you know, that you're trying to be cordial to, you're going to laugh and giggle, you know? So it's just like, I'm not into that double standard stuff. I'm not into that insecurity stuff. So that was something that was a big turn off. And so I removed myself from that situation.
Right. So, do you, when you do your sex work, are you turned on by anything, or you just get an urge? Like, what drives this work for you?
Okay. Definitely I'm in it, and I guess naturally, and this is for sex workers, I feel like generally, you have to have some type of heightened sexual appetite, period. So I already just naturally have a very high sex appetite. Um, so when it comes to like how I'm getting myself ready for, first off, I don't accept all work. I do
Right.
say no to people. It's a lot of times that I say no to people. You know, there's some people that have content out, and I just don't want to work with
Let us
just off
let
of
us
how.
know what type of offers you get when people
I
come to you. What are your rates? Do you have rates for certain
Yes.
things?
Yep. So like
Let
my
me get
rates to even like sit down and have like a conversation is 300 down. Especially if it's like travel, you want me to travel or something like that to you or hang out, you know, type shit. So it's 300 down, and then once for an hour it's 300. My rates have never varied. I've never changed them and shit like that, and I never will. I'm gonna keep it real. I will never change my rates. I will never go less or nothing like that. I will never cut no deals. And this is something that for those that have booked me and shit like that, I appreciate about them,
hmm
because they see that I'm worth that plus more. Keeping it real, keeping it real. Some people, the people that have booked me, they have said that my rates are low. Keeping it real, they're just like, so that's why when people try to hit me with any other suggestions or any other, I don't got time for it. I may come
What
off as
what
rude or
what,
whatever.
what do you turn down? Like, what are some of the things that you have turned?
Anything less than what I'm asking for. Any like I'm just not into doing any of those deal type situations. I'm a
So,
business.
it's about the money
It
when you.
definitely is about, yeah, it definitely is about money. Because even people with status, you know, I've worked with people that have big names. They paid up and had no problem with it. So it's just like, if big names are doing this and have no problem with it, I need you people that have not as big as name to do that, because this is how we all get up, keeping it real. Because if
Have
my
you
if huh
have you ever did anything that you regretted?
nope, I've never worked with anyone that I regretted working with. And this is the thing about me not rushing into anything. I've been doing this since, like I said, since I was like 17, 18. I was, I've been approached by talent scouts in the straight and in the gay scene, okay,
hmm
for male talent scouts and stuff like that. I've been hit up by Pinky Scout, you know, Jamal. He's hit me up for, and he's been on my shit for a long ass fucking time, and he's gave me more mentorship than anything else. You know, it was not a pressure thing. It was just I see you out here.
Right.
If you ever need some work, you know, you need a solid team to fuck with, we got you type shit. But at the same time, understanding that I was a new kid. When I came out, to keep it real, the scene was just getting like the studio stuff and all that stuff was still like the only way that you was getting a name or whatever, you know, getting
Mm-hmm.
seen or whatever. OnlyFans, keep it real. The reason why I don't have an OnlyFans is because I came out before that, you know, and I understand that OnlyFans is not really supporting sex workers. They do not really support sex workers. The fact that they're taking the percentage that they are taking from sex workers, no, it's not. That's not how you support sex workers. And then policing them and fucking creating policies after you've already got them signed up onto your platform, so where they
Mm-hmm.
cannot post certain things. You're not helping sex workers, you know. So it's just like that's why people have always asked me why don't I have OnlyFans, and this is the reason why. I knew that this was going to happen. I knew this when it first happened, when OnlyFans first came, that they were going to do that. They were going to exploit sex workers. Period. That's it.
What was the most exciting thing that you've done in your line of work?
I think the most exciting person that I've worked with so far,
No,
is
yeah,
Sydney or
and
thing.
the most exciting thing that you've done that wowed you, like.
I feel like meeting and doing shooting a scene with Sydney Star, that's been the biggest. I always tell her that I'm like, you're like literally the highlight of my sex, you know, my sex life experience, my just working experience, because that's someone that I wanted to work with, you know, and I
Mm-hmm.
was able to work with, and on top of her being so fucking sweet, and having the same amount of like appreciation for me as well, you know. So me and her talked for at least like 6 years before we hooked up, and even when we did hang out the first time, she was nervous and stuff like that. So it's just like, I appreciate her doing that. I appreciate her, you know, taking that risk, really, you know, because for I feel like for especially women from the trans experience, they go through life different, and you may not understand it if you don't live that experience. And I didn't understand that until I actually sat down and spoke with her like for a good hour about her experience and stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
what made her nervous about meeting up with me and stuff like that. And yeah, it's the trickery of personalities, the flippity floppity of people's fears and whatever. And I had to let that be known that I'm not a person that is living in fear. I'm not a person that is care about what people think about me and stuff like that. Not at
Mm-hmm.
all. And I need people to be comfortable in themselves and be around me, because that's how you enjoy yourself around me, is being yourself and not caring about what other people think, because I'm gonna be the way I am, and I'm gonna hold it down.
Absolutely. So how do you find your partners that you connect that you build content with? How do you find them?
I'm on Twitter. I'm on FetLife. Instagram. People reach out to me on different platforms. Those are just some of the platforms that people have reached out to me on that I've created content on with. So when it comes to like creating content with people, in the last year, is really my like the peak of me creating content.
Mm-hmm.
So I've only made content really with Sydney Star, Boy in the Video, Casanova, African Prince, Butter, Oakland Top. I think that's it. But I was like in the same film with Daddy Black, and I was in the same scene with Daniel, he's a power bottom, but I was in the same scene with him. But we didn't
He
really
was
do nothing. Huh?
he was a what?
He's a power bottom. Daniel's a power bottom, and then Daddy Black. People know who Daddy Black is.
Now
He's
listen,
way.
we have people on here from all walks of life. So
Right.
you're gonna tell them what a power bottom is because they don't know what a
Oh,
power.
okay, my bad. The power bottom is a masculine, presenting guy that takes takes dick. I don't know how he takes dick. The receiver. The receiver on the receiving end. And Yeah, so
They call them, and what do they call them?
power bottom.
A power bottom. Look, Super, we have quite a few people that have joined since we started.
Yeah.
Questions in the comments. Go ahead and recap and let them know who you are and how you got started. Okay.
Yes. All right, y'all. What's going on? My name is SupaXXX. I am 33 years old. I am a content creator, sex worker. I got to doing this stuff and started at a very early age, around 18. I was groomed by a young woman, and this is the other reason of why I'm so attentive when it comes to sexual interaction. Also, the business aspect of my the style that I have comes from that as well. Just I guess being it brought to me so early, understanding that the power in sex is a business, the power in being able to negotiate things for things, services for services and stuff like that. This is something that I have turned into a career. I've done radio, I've done community work and stuff like that. I've done customer service work. I've done, hard work. And this is what I love the most. This is I have the most passion out of, working with others, like I have in the past, and currently working with Rainy Days. I've worked with, Sydney Star, which is one of the highlights of like content creating part. Because as outside of sexual content and working with Sydney, I also would like to work with her in film, like mainstream film, and things like that. And
Right.
we both share the aspirations. So I think that's the other part outside of the aspirations that we have as sex workers or as like Black folks in creative, the adult scene. But
Hmm.
you know, moving outside of that as well.
Right. Okay, so now that you've been a sex worker and this is your career, what are your goals and
Mm.
ambitions with this career? Like, what do you care to take in the next 5 years? Are you still going to be on Kick and all of the platforms doing the same thing, or do you have any goals or ambitions to, you know, ascend in your line of work?
Of course, I have been able to have the blessings to be able to like have done it for so long. So for me, it's going to be up and coming people working with other talents and stuff like that. Getting behind the scenes of things and production and stuff like that. Helping with just developing people better, because I feel like people could have um, or like could make more money if they knew how to conduct their business better. So just like teaching, like I'm a part of Spectacular's, social group, which is more about trading information on how to be more engaging online and stuff like that, how to get people more engaged with you and stuff like that. So that's where um, my long-term thing is to also provide a service, to always provide a service through the sex work part or through mentorship that I've received. Because the only reason why I'm at this point in my life really is because I've taken notes. I've had great mentors, and some people not
Mhm.
knowingly have been my mentor. So I feel
So,
like that's
'cause when you're a content creator, and it doesn't matter what type of content you're creating, consistency is key, right? How often are you
yes.
creating?
Wow. Okay, since I have like someone to create content, like another person to create content with, me and Rainey has been creating content since we started hanging out in January, basically every day, like 3 times a day, type stuff. And then just for myself personally, I have like a private Snapchat that people like people that just want to see me are engaged into. So I'm daily doing that. I'm daily self masturbation or shower stuff or whatever. Even if they just want to sit and talk, whatever, I do stuff like that. Um, So very consistent. Like it's just
And that,
as consistent
all
as
of
my
that,
sex drive. Huh?
and all of that has a price, right?
Yes, yeah. The private story has a price. Yeah, that and I feel like kind of everything has a price. Yeah. And then the other thing is the time spent though, because I definitely do appreciate folks that have spent time with me. And I have like little special perks for people that spend that time. And that's just given really. Um, if
So
if you show
listen,
up every day and
so when you're not creating content, what do you do in your spare time? Like, what do you do outside of sex?
so outside of sex, I'm outgoing person. I love outdoors. I love nature. I love just talking to people and serving people. Really, to keep it real. So I'm getting looking forward to coming down to Atlanta because I have an organization that I work with down there, and I was with them last year, called Black Hammer, and I'm going to be working with them in the east end. I mean the west end, and you know they actually are downtown on Tuesdays. Sundays and Tuesdays for like this outreach that they do. So I'm probably gonna be tapping into stuff like that, because that's even what last year I was at Black Pride, Atlanta, and people seen me, but they was afraid to like come up to me and stuff, and they were just like it was like because I had like the mask on and we had like our Black Hammer logo on, we all had the Black Hammer t-shirts on, so they're like we was like intimidated. We didn't know what was going on with you if y'all was like working or whatever. And it's just like our job is to communicate with the community. And as a adult entertainer, this is the other part of why I understand my task in life is to use certain things about myself to get engaged people. So
Hmm.
if it was the sexual content that got people's attention, okay, now I need you to care about your community. And if you don't really got it to do, you could donate here, and this is how you could donate, type stuff. So
How
that
do you
too.
how does your mom feel about you um being a sex worker?
My mom loves me with all her heart. My mom created me, so she knew exactly who I was and what I was. When she pushed me out, when I came to her at 17, 16 years old, telling her that I was into boys and girls and I was just into beautiful people, she was like, okay. So it's just like, my dad the same way. My dad is not my biological dad, because me and my biological dad don't have a relationship, but my stepfather, he's also very okay with it. I worked on the road with him, so he. One of the other crazy experiences, he purchased some hose for me. I brought a friend of mine down to Atlanta. We was going on to work, and we got to the hotel room. And there was two hoses in the hotel room, so it was just like, I fucked a hoe in front of my dad before, so it's just like, he wanted to know. That was his test to see if I was really about that life. He's like, you talking about
Mhm.
all this sex you had, and this is me at 22 years old. So it's just like, at 22 years old, my dad wanted to see how good I was at this sex shit, And I showed him I could fuck in front of him. It didn't affect me that nothing negative really.
Um, so, Miss Devonna left a question in the comments. She want to know what your deal breakers are besides the money.
Just not just dirtiness, filthiness, filthy energy. That's what I'm saying. Filthy energy, filthy, like, because some people have to look past the surface of things. I always look off. I'll look past the surface. I like to have like a mental evaluation with people. I like to have a conversation with people, on some shit for real, for real. So yeah, like bad body odor and stuff like that, bad grooming. Like, just if you don't take care of yourself, for real, like if you don't want to produce no updated, no recent test results, all that type of stuff. Just the mess, really. That's the deal breakers. And then
Now
like
you are
you
getting
can't poop
tested
on me and stuff
being a
like that.
sex, correct?
Huh?
You are being tested on a regular basis being a sex
Yes.
worker.
Yeah.
And the people that you do content with, do you require that? Is that a necessity to have?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I said my circle of people that I work with is so small because of that reason as well. You know, because
Absolutely.
I don't want to have to beat nobody up. Okay, and I will beat somebody up. Okay, that's all. I'm gonna keep it real, and I'm so good with my medical people. Like when I have been burnt before, they told me who burnt me. Okay, I'm just keeping it real. Like I know people tell me all the time, yeah, I'm supposed to disclose that information. Okay, but you got a pretty dick like me. I'm just saying. This your doctor does things for you when you got a pretty dick. I don't know. I think it's because I was honest with her about being a sex worker and like her complimenting me on my dick. That was threw me off a little bit, but ever since then I equate her complimenting me on my penis and her telling me the names of the people that, you know, I slept with that was burning basically. So I just equate that because she was like, I'm not, you know, supposed to do this. Don't tell nobody I'm doing this, but you know, go this person right here been burning people basically. So I had to go beat somebody's kid up, and I don't want to do that no more. And that's why I don't be in that city, Rochester, no more like that. People be wondering why I don't be and hanging out there no more. It's because y'all don't know how to get yourselves clean. Y'all don't know how to, you know, take the medicine for the whole time and shit. I ain't got time. Okay.
Do you have kids?
I have no kids. I'm single, no kids. My responsibility is to just, you know, take care of myself. Really, I'm kind of spoiled a little bit as well, so it doesn't make anything better.
So listen.
What's up?
So some people, when people have sex with people, you know, their emotions get tied to it. Do you have sex emotionally or emotionless? Like, how do you have sex with somebody and for a period of time and not acquire any feelings?
Okay, so feelings do happen. I ain't gonna deny that there's feelings. There is a level of love that I have for everybody that I have sexual encounters with. I'm keeping it real. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not fucking on you if I don't have, you know, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's not easy to book me. It's not really easy for people just to get with me and, you know, create content with me for real, because I really have to feel like I really got to be turned on for real. So genuinely, realistically, the scenes that I've shot, I literally have been turned on for real. There's no, I don't have to, nothing fake. I wasn't doing it for the bag. I really wanted to do the work with these people, and I did. Like what you've seen on camera was real, type shit. So I'm not a performer. I don't. I've never been. I've never had to be like. I've never got pushed to that. You know, because there's certain people that work for studios, so where you have to shoot a certain amount of videos, you have to shoot with a certain amount of people per year and all that type of stuff. I'm not on that level. I don't never want to be there. I'm gonna keep it real. So I always want to be in full control of what I do, how I do it, when I do it, and how long I want to do it. If I want to cut, if I was to cut and just cut it all and just not want to do this shit no more, I should be able to do that. You know, it is my choice to do what I'm doing. Hey, Cookie.
Hey, so Ari,
Appreciate you. I appreciate y'all all sliding through. You guys has been a very, very active live, y'all.
listen, why don't you drop some of your platform tags so people can follow you from here?
Okay. You want me to do that right now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I guess the most popular ones and the most like active are Twitter.
Ask Rainy to put all your tags in the comments.
Yes, Rainy, can you do that? I'm gonna help her just in case she can't. But my most active ones are Twitter and when it comes to adult content, Twitter and Snapchat. These are the most consistent platforms that you can find me on, like promotion wise and stuff like that as well. I'm starting to grow this Instagram page. This is my new account. It's literally maybe not even a year old yet. I lost my original one, but I had that one for like 5 years. And it's better that I got this page because the engagement is going to be a lot more genuine, I guess. And then the fact that my other account was being run by 2 people at one point, and it was a whole situation. So I like that this one is the way it is. I like that it's visually stimulating in ways that I know that's how my engagement works. For me to be shirtless and stuff like that on Instagram it's a way that I know that I get engagement. I do talk about more things than just sex, but I understand that that's what people know me. I guess that's what I get a reaction out of. Even when like people say like I do post like self nudies and like half nudies on Facebook and how my mother and stuff like that and family feel about it. They just know that I've been like this forever, so it's not shocking to them. They may not want to see it, but I tell them don't look, but they do anyway. So,
what advice would you have to give someone who is trying to get into the industry, or someone that may be trying to start their line of sex work through OnlyFans or Twitter or Kick?
I would say be careful with any platform that's taking a percentage of your money. Period. Even the Kicks, even the live streaming platforms, the Bigos and all these live streaming platforms. Be careful of the percentage that people are taking from you out of those using those accounts. For me personally, from my personal experience, Twitter has been great. Tumblr has been great. Reddit has been great. These platforms that you're able to even Snapchat, getting a Snapchat and having a private story that you can have only accept people that pay to be a part of it type stuff. If it's about the income, and understanding investing in yourself is important, but I always remember never to push more. Don't ever put more money into something that is not bringing you anything.
That's yield to get back. Yeah.
You're just not getting any return on. And this mainly is around information as well as finances. Because sometimes there's spaces that I'm in that I'm not always getting fed financially, but I'm getting fed with information that I can then use to go out and make money. And that's the thing that I've been able to do. I've been able to negotiate better. I've learned skills in negotiation and things like that, and also tapping into financial dimes. And Rainey is someone that is experienced on being a financial dime. I have some experience with being a dime and being a master and stuff like that. But yeah, being able to understand those and embody that also is a part of it, because that's my role that I play as well. I'm a top, I'm a dime, I'm a master. So in the roles, people may not know what that is. If you don't,
explain it.
Okay. So basically, in the lifestyle, a dominant is basically someone that is usually in control. Usually are a little bit of a a little crazy, a little bit of a Kanye West. I feel like when it comes to like our ideas about like control and certain visual things and stuff like that. What else can I say? I don't know why I said Kanye West. My bad. But more of like directive. I like to be directive. I like to be very much in control in spaces when it comes to sex. Or when it comes to just like life in general. Master title is something usually is given to you by your submissive or your slut or someone that is submissive to you. And yeah, so I've kind of earned that. You earn that. That's in lifestyle too. It's not something that you just, I'm a dime. It's not self-proclaimed.
Right.
Those people are weird. These are usually titles that are given to you. This is a title that was given to me based off of my sexual experiences throughout life. So I've grown to this. But I'm also, kind of depends, because when I'm around very masculine energy, I may not be as masculine, so.
But let me ask you this, and I'm pretty sure the viewers in here may have this question too. At what point did you decide that you were a dom or a power bottom, or how did you get to where you are to know that, hey, this is who I am. I like being like this. Like, what experiences have you gone through to get there?
I guess okay. I'm gonna go back to my first experience of like really being groomed. Brittany was the name of the female that put me on to like what serving was, to be served and what it should feel like and things like that. Down to the body massage, like because I'm also very like touch. I'm very into like physical touch. So her knowing that and asking me like what I was into, what aroused me, what got me aroused, understanding that part, understanding the psychology around it. The person that groomed me was a femdom. Okay, so she's a very feminine presenting person, model type girl. You know, you would think, just college girl that just went to school and just you would think that, but she's also a very very hypersexual person, super hypersexual, to where I was a part of a trio situation. She had her financial little daddy or whatever. She had the guy that she was dating, and then she had me, and I was the sexual stimulation guy. The other guy was the mental and emotional guy, the one that she was gonna eventually be with, and the
Mm-hmm.
other guy, So I was taught as I was being a part of this, what it was, and what I would be. What she was doing is she was letting me know, like, yeah, I'm grooming you to be a dom. I want you to be this certain type of way. So I want you to cuddle. When you cuddle, I want you to grab a certain way. So I was taught how to even cuddle, like how to be like dominant in my cuddle, dominant in my,
But
in my
right,
presence.
but that's what she wanted. So she
Mm-hmm.
taught you to want that for yourself.
No. It's not. No, it's something that was already a part of me. That's what I'm saying. Like the fact
Okay.
that I was good at this, the fact that I was attentive on the touching and stuff. It was more of me learning how to do it, because I thought I knew what I was doing, and I was going down just touching the coochie. No, you gotta ask, what do I like? What she wasn't into feeling fingers inside of her, so she was only into like stimulation and stuff like that, and oral stimulation and stuff like that. So it's just like being attentive, learning and stuff like that. So that's why I said like. I was into this. I am a dom. I am. I just needed to be taught how to become more efficient dom. And not a self-proclaimed person that would just I'm done. No, you don't know unless you're asking, unless you're getting feedback from the people that you're having sex with, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm really into as well. I mean, I'm very into feedback. Having conversation after care and sitting down and talking.
Pillow talk.
Yes, for real. Yes.
Everybody,
I am.
everybody knows pillow talk ain't shit.
Saying
Everybody knows pillow talk ain't shit.
it is if you're trying to get better. I feel like if pillow talk could be an aftercare
Wait
for
till you
me
wake up in
is.
the morning, then ask.
You said what?
Wait till you wake up after,
Okay.
then ask.
Hey, I just be having energy to still. We could talk after. I can smoke a blunt. Like I can go rounds. So for me, it's like maybe I just need a sandwich and get it back at it.
But you're making money, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us the most amount of money that you have made.
The most amount of money I've made in like one session.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think $3,000 was the most I've made from one person.
And what did you do?
3,000. Nothing really. I'm gonna keep it real. I would let them like eat my butt out, suck my dick. That's about it. Like I would come and spend time with them. They were more of a It's more of he's an older guy. He used to be like a boxer trainer, like he trained people in boxing. So like so with him, he's who he is. He's an openly gay man, whatever. But he likes his guys to be a certain type of way. And he kind of he got his little things with him. Keeping it real, he's very meticulous about what he wants and when he wants to touch shit. And we are kind of the same way with each other. So yeah, it was just that. And it happened over time though, for like 3 months. You know, so it was like 1,000 one month, 1,000 next month, and 1,000 the third month. But yeah, and that's somebody that's like followed me since I was young too. He's created collages of me. He got me in the cell phone. Like, yeah, also the craziest person ever.
So tell me how do you deal with the weirdos? Because I know you come across weirdos.
Oh my gosh. Kindness. I'm kind to my weirdos. I ain't gonna lie. Because this is the thing about even the idea of like what's weird to me.
Right.
It's not nothing that's really weird. The fact that you're interested in me is not weird. The way that you go about it may be weird. You know, it may not be the social competent way to go about it. You know, you may not get a response from me. You know, I may not give you the response that you want. But it is what it is. I'm still learning how to deal with people. Because I have neglected my people for like years. You know, I'll keep it real. Like there's people that have said like, oh yeah, like it's to see me like stuff on Twitter. It's like, oh my, you know, because they'd be like, oh, I stopped commenting on your stuff because you don't even like it or nothing, or you don't retweet it. Like people say that to me. I'm like, if you look at my notifications, it go from 4 or 5 to 20 to 50 to 60. Like, yeah, I have a fucking pending fucking list of people that be trying to send me friend requests because I had to watch my page. So it's like my Twitter, the way it runs is it's not just one way. I have to run it a lot of different ways because there's some people that love me and there's some people that hate me. There's some people that report my page because I don't send them content. You know, type shit. It's like they want free content.
How often do you get blocked from the platforms?
Like suspended? Yes, I've lost. Like I said, my Instagram. I've lost at least 3 other Twitters. This is literally my 4th Twitter when it comes to like dark Twitter. I have over 20,000 followers on this Twitter. So this is my longest running Twitter. It's not my most popular because I had a 60,000 60K Twitter before that I lost my first Twitter.
And you use some other jargon that our guests don't understand. Explain to them what the dark Twitter is.
Okay. Dark side of Twitter, y'all. Okay, so dark side of Twitter is basically Twitter porn. Like the OnlyFans and the Just for Fans. The reason why those platforms were created is because Twitter was housing, and Tumblr no longer housed little mini vids, mini clips of people's content, like promotion videos. I mean, people would do this back in the day when they would like have the videos on XTubes or those other platforms that were provided for like I don't know, redistribution, but it wasn't like resale because people was literally not getting the sales, but people was able to view their videos, which throw the whole market off. I'm gonna keep it real. A lot of free porn is created through these platforms, or people or consumers thinking that porn was free. I think that's what it was. I think people assume that porn was free because of these platforms, which is not a real thing, and that's why people verifications of pages and stuff like that is very important. Not to get fucking scammed by fake pages and stuff like that. People have been scammed by me. People have impersonated me. It's happened multiple times. I apologize for to people when it does happen to them. But that's all I can do. I'm gonna keep it real because I am a business, so I can't like be like, oh, I'm gonna give you some content because you got play. No, I'm sorry. I need you to do more research. And for me, getting facial time with people, get FaceTime time with people before you sending them money and stuff like that. Make sure that people are who they say they are before you send them stuff. But yeah, the dark side of Twitter, literally, it kind of dark side of Twitter and Tumblr really brought the LGBTQ community to me. Realistically, I had no idea. Realistically, much about the community outside of like local, about local, experience and stuff like that. So the broadiness and becoming popular in Atlanta, and becoming popular in Miami, becoming popular in Baltimore and DC, motherfucking California, Chicago, you know, this is where all the boys is at. Houston, you know, all the niggas. I'm gonna keep it real. So it's just like, you know, New Orleans, you know, I'm just saying, you know, this is where they be at, you know, and just to get hit up by so many people over the time, free real, I'm super humbled by it. I'm gonna keep it real. Because people is sexy as fuck. Okay, these people be sexy, you know, and I sometimes it'd be like shocking that they're actually watching my content. And then especially with the comments or like, I mean, when the DMs come in and they'd be like, oh, I've been watching you for 5 years. Like, what the fuck? Yes, that be making me feel so good. I'm gonna keep it real. I love it. I mean, when people, because some people be like, oh, isn't that weird when people say that? No, it's not. I actually love it.
Super. You said that you were single, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, do you plan to find somebody? Like, who are you planning on a relationship? Are you looking for somebody, or are you just focused on the money and you're gonna continue doing your work? It's
I'm focused on
relationship.
my career. I am focused on my career at the moment, but love is going to be different for me. That love is definitely not going to be me and one partner. Definitely not. I definitely want a poly type of situation or more some type of situation to where it's like a community type of situation. Because I am flexible, I definitely don't want to just be with a female, and I don't want to just be with a guy. So, you know, I want to be
So,
with a few people, a few different people. Keep it real.
so you
I
are
want to be shared.
you're into the poly life, huh?
Definitely, yes. Because it financially it makes sense. All of these things, it's less jealousy, less all these other things, these lies and these stuff. Just being hopefully honest with people and fully real with them is the best way for me.
Mm-hmm.
The way I love is up and down, left and right. I love in a circle, I guess, or whatever, you know. So it is what it is. If you can handle my mouth, if you can handle my attitude, if you can handle my little mood swings and shit like that, God bless you. Keep it real. And if you want to be around me that much, God bless you. Keep it real. You know, I'm not for everyone. I don't try to be. I just be for the people that are for me. You know,
Okay.
and that's where it's at too.
Well, those were all of the questions I have. We are out of time. Did have an interview set up with Ari, but she just canceled while we on here. So I guess we can leave the live up for a couple more minutes. And I'll let you have your question and answer time with the guest.
King. Hey, King. Nick, how you doing? I appreciate you for being here.
Y'all guys,
Yeah. So
now is your time.
Yeah, ask some questions, y'all. I was the wrong stream for. Wait. Wish you got any questions? I'm reading the comments. My bad. I came with updated paperwork. Always on my phone. I'm trying to think. Peace, love. I love you. Appreciate that, Nick. Hey, Kayla, I'm gonna be. If you still in Atlanta, I'm coming down there soon.
What's the have you tell us how long you have tell us the longest link, the longest content. Like, have you ever burnt yourself out from content?
All right, so the only time that I really like burnt myself out was over the summertime. I was doing parties. I mean, it was my first time doing parties, and I was doing like, okay, so we was doing Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, and that was like basically I was doing no, wait. I was doing Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 4 days. So I was doing those days, and it was like it would be like a main party, and then there would be an after party, and the after party would usually be a gangbang. So I was doing basically 2 parties, so 8 parties basically, in a week. I did that for a full month. So for the full month of July, that was our schedule.
So,
Um,
what are you doing to keep up? Like, do you need any
eating.
enhancements, or do you use anything to, you know?
No, no enhancements. I haven't used any enhancements or anything yet. It really is just rest. I have a very high, just a high energy. I'm very much. I have a lot of energy. Um, so yeah, for me, it's just hydrating myself, eating right, and then I can perform as long as I want. And I feel like by the end of July, I started getting lethargic a little bit, but it was more of because I was doing that on top of also fucking on the side, you know. So I was doing other things outside of the parties. So that's what was really burning me out. And the travel, the way of I was in New York City, so getting on the train and shit like that, and traveling and not getting enough sleep.
Eat Such a Lady 28 says, what state do you make the most money in?
I'm gonna say New York. I'm gonna keep it real. I try to say Atlanta, but Atlanta it's really not like it's not hitting like that for me. Like for real, I feel like in Atlanta people front like they got money. They act like they got money in Atlanta. People in New
Of
York
course.
really got it. Yeah, so a lot of people like to flaunt and front or whatever, but they don't really give it up like that. Because I was even disappointed with the girls down there too. I really was. I was very disappointed in the girls down there. So yeah, it was very it just wasn't fitting for what it was hitting for, because usually the girls show out and the girls wasn't showing out down there. But the girls definitely show out for me in New York. I feel like I definitely get a lot of love in New York. So yeah, I could say that it's a lot of people, and then it's because of travel too, because like Oakland can't. He's from California. He flew out to New York City, and that was a paid situation. But
Mm-hmm.
everybody that I worked with in New York, they paid me. Sydney, she pays me. So yeah, I really don't have an issue with not. I've never had really an issue with people not wanting to pay me.
Right.
Keeping it real, like getting keeping my clientele is not hard. Once I fucked with you once, I usually can fuck with you again type shit. I never have. I don't burn bridges with people. So for real. So that's why I still can do what I'm doing. That's how I can dibble dabble with the boys and with the girls and all that type of stuff, to keep it real, because I'm not fucking nobody over. I'm not hurting nobody type shit. I'm not disrespecting people. I'm not violating people, and I'm being honest about who I am and what I do. And that also brings me a lot of people. That brings me so many people that speak with me through alternate pages. They're not, because of their professionalism and their background and what they do, they can't be like me. They can't be as public with it. So I appreciate that type of information that I get, and that type of conversation that I get from people.
Rainy Days want to know, are you a hands or feet kind of daddy?
Hands or feet? Hands and feet? That was a weird question. What do you mean? Like, do I like
Hands,
hands?
feet. So let's get into that, and because holding back, because I'm pretty
I'm just.
understand this question very well. Are you a hand or kind of daddy? You want her to use her hands, or do you want her to use your feet?
Oh, I like her hands. You know, um, feet is a new thing. I think was brought to me a little bit later in the game or whatever. Because at first, when I was younger, I didn't like people touching me with their feet and shit like that. So to be sexually aroused by feet had come later in my ventures and sexual things. I feel like that's the other part of, like, once you do sex work, regular sex is kind of boring. It gets kind of boring. So it does, like, spicing stuff up and stuff like that. It is, yeah. I like hand jobs. I like receiving foot jobs. What do I prefer more? Maybe a hand job, just because you have more control over your hands, and you can't really do much with your feet too well. You only can do just the bare minimum. So I like hands. When it comes to that, but oral over the top. I feel like oral is my favorite. Giving and receiving. I'm definitely an oral top. So I am. I'm into giving oral and receiving oral, male and female. So.
Okay. Listen. What's coming up next? What you got going on next? What's on the
Man,
what's
I got lots of stuff coming up. Because it's the summertime and stuff like that. I'm going to be working with Sydney again. I'm going to be working with a lot of boys in New York City this summer. Be working with some folks like Harlem. I'll be working with him. I'll work with Oakland. I'm gonna be working with African Prince. I'll be working with a lot of guys and be working with a lot of girls. Yeah, it's a lot of work for real. A lot of traveling. I'm getting opportunities because I'm working with Rainey. Rainey is wanting me to travel with her. So Richard Mann recently hit her up. So he wanted to come out to Las Vegas. If y'all don't know who Richard Mann is, type in what is it? World Man on Twitter in MANN. You have to find him. World of Man. Yeah, World of Man. World of Man on Twitter. You can find him. But he's a porn star. He's been out for a minute. He's pretty much a big deal. So yeah, that is something else that we're looking forward to. Content creating more content with us, me and Rainey as a duo, and us individually as well. But traveling together is what we're looking forward to doing. I'm gonna take it to New York City to do some stuff to help assist me in the stuff that work that I have to do, and collaborate with me on other things. So really booked and busy, for real. And staying connected.
Ain't that
Staying
it?
connected. Huh?
I said, ain't that it? Booked and
Right.
busy.
Booked and busy, for real. I'm
Hey,
trying to keep up with all that. Sydney definitely requested that we hook up again, so I'm trying to figure out what her dates is and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the stuff that we got working. We got in the mix,
now you say that you don't want to be a part of the adult film industry. You want to
Right.
continue creating your own. But have you ever thought about expanding on starting your own?
In a
Because
way of like,
you did say you like to be directive. So
right, yeah.
you like
Yeah.
to
But
vision.
I would feel like I wouldn't want my people to feel like they're exclusively have to do adult. Okay, so there's 20. I think it's called 23 TV. I think,
Mm-hmm.
or Jump 23 or something. Right? It's a studio. It's a production company. So like I like how they do what they've been doing. They've taken the boys from Rain, from all of those porn sites and stuff like that, all those porn production companies, and working with them on getting their acting abilities up there. Their actual. And that's what I really want to do. I want to do that more. I want to like mentorship and stuff like that, because I feel like that's where the sex work community within, because it's like I guess there's an LBGT community or whatever, but I feel like the sex work community is its own thing too. And I feel like just the helping of each other more is what needs to happen. Supporting each other more in that way.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
totally.
so that's where I see myself being strong at. One of my stronger parts, and how I fit into all this stuff, because even using Twitter Spaces and stuff like that, it has helped me a lot to gain respect from my fellow content creators, my
Yeah.
fellow colonized people, because we all come from different perspectives, and people can only assume who I am and what I represent. I have to speak it myself. I have to come in and go into space and represent myself. And that's why I try to represent myself in a very direct way and consistent way too. I'm consistent on my how I feel. I'm consistent in the way I speak and how I speak, and my standards for people and stuff like that. It's consistent. And the only things my biggest pet peeves are inconsistencies and fickleness. People that are inconsistent and just talk and not be about their action. So the
Absolutely.
talking is great, but I want to see that work, and that's what fuels me, and that's what keeps me around me, keeps me around you. So if you ever like, oh, where you went, you may not be being consistent. But I definitely I support my friends as hard as possible, as and as well as I know how to. And I know that people aren't going to always reciprocate it in that same way, but I have learned to do it and then keep it moving, keep it real. Not look for not looking for reciprocation, but just doing it and then moving forward. Because it's really about the people that notice you doing it.
Right.
Keeping it real, not the person that you're doing it for, but the people that's noticing you doing it.
King Nick asks, are you interested in integrating the progressive conversations on content into your sex work content?
Yes, definitely. I feel like that's the part of why I chose to be on Live Me, which is a live streaming platform. Kick, that provided a live streaming platform. Up Live, which is a live streaming platform. Big O, all these live streaming conversation platforms is because I did the sex act already. Y'all have seen me do the sex act. Y'all know that I can do the sex act really good. I can do it in different positions. I can do it with the boys. I
Sure.
can do it with the girls.
Somebody
Huh?
asked what your favorite position was earlier, and when you
My favorite
said,
position?
yeah,
I'm a down top, so my favorite position is doggy. I'm a dom top. Most dom tops, their favorite position is where they can throw it, where I can throw it. Okay, where I'm in control of the throwing it. So it's either the hip thrusts or the full jab. The full thrust. So I had the little hip. I do the hip, or it's just like the hip, and then it's the out and in, out and in. So it's. So there's different types of strokes, and you got that hip. I'm Jamaican, so I know how to move the hips and all that too. So,
so waistline, see,
huh?
so why your waistline?
Yes, yes, yes. The waistline team. So yeah, I feel like that has always been a part of it. So I feel like that's the other thing about like my passion of dancing, my passion of entertaining, and then sex. It kind of is all the same, because I did start in like dance hall, when it came to like having high energy and being able to like be athletic, being fit, being physically fit, how I remain physically fit at 33 years old. I look better than I did at 21. Keep it real. I'm starting as I age, I feel like I look better, and stuff like that. I feel better at this age, and I'm definitely more in control of my sexual organs, and my mental state is a lot more focused. So I feel like I'm just getting better. So I do want to get better in ways of not only in the act of sex, but also in my business and how I do my thing, how I present it to the world, how I present it to y'all, how y'all visually see me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm appreciative for. I'm appreciative to this. This is my first interview as SupaXXX.
Really?
Period. Literally.
Well, congratulations to your first interview.
Thank you.
I always like to stir the pot.
Yes, she was my first, y'all. Cookie was my first, y'all.
I like
So
to
that's what
stir.
I'm saying. This is the other part of like how much like this is appreciation for you doing this. Like I really am appreciative because like there's so many people that have consumed my content and that have done things for themselves for like self gratification. Being able to self gratify themselves off of my content and never really understood how to support back. This way is a big way of supporting. This is great way of supporting. And that's why I said too, you being brave about doing this type of thing. Some people are afraid to talk about sex. People are afraid to talk about people's likes and dislikes and stuff like that. People are afraid to be honest, and to be judged, and I'm not, and I love being around people that are not
Me,
afraid.
I don't give a fuck.
So, right.
Fuck because I don't.
So that's where I find power. I find my strength,
Right.
in other people, and seeing that this is me even inviting you into spaces that that I've been invited into, and that you're being welcomed with open arms. Like that is how it's supposed to be. and that's what I want it to be like that. I'm fortunate to be able to have done the work that I've done to be able to have these type of spaces, you know, to have spaces to share content into on Instagram and stuff like that. I do have these reaches. I don't take advantage of these people, but I do have an advantage because I have these people, you know, in my
Right.
corner. So
Do
keeping it
you,
real, you know.
who is your favorite male porn star?
My favorite male porn star.
That was Rainy's question.
Yeah, my favorite male porn star. It has to be. Dang.
Was there anyone that you looked up to?
Looked up to?
Started out like, who was out there doing what you wanted to do? Like, who,
Mm,
other than you said you're
probably Marcus. Marcus.
Mr. Marcus.
Um, Mr. Marcus. Yeah. Um, when it comes to male, Marcus, and then when it comes to female, Pink. Marcus. Mm-hmm. I love Pinky as a businesswoman. I love the way that she took what she was able to do and put other girls on. She put other guys on. You know, she employed a bunch of people. And around the time when I was 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, I was able to talk to her, you know, on Twitter. You know, she was very active on Twitter back then. And she would, you know, reply to stuff, and I would talk to her, like I would be in her under her comments, and she would reply to me and tell me to keep doing what I'm doing and stuff like that. So it's just like that type of stuff. And I feel like Mr. Marcus, just on the part of like, he was the first person that I seen do the full getting his penis turned into a dildo. He was the first person that I seen do that. Market it himself and stuff like that, push it himself, get more other art, more black urban adult workers to get into it and to get on that part. Yeah, so becoming your own manager of yourself, of your business. Brian Pumper, crazy ass too.
You're building
Brian
a brand.
Pumper is another one of my favorites.
It's building a brand.
Huh?
It's building a brand. And
Yes.
with you building your brand, how quickly do you see yourself bringing others in and making sex toys? Is that your goal? Like, are you looking to get there someday? What
Yeah, that's gonna be
doing?
that is one of my goals as well. Getting into the toy line for myself personally to drop a toy. People would definitely I definitely know that I could sell toys. From my own personal experiences with people, they definitely people that have already worked with me, they definitely said that they would buy a toy of mine. So that's something that has been in the works and has been talked about for me personally for years, keeping it real. So that is something that I would like to go into. And just the education part around it. I feel like education around sex ed, the education around sex work, educating people around having conversations about, sexuality and all those things. I feel like it's never a bad time to do it. I was presented with sex early, I guess, in life, whatever, but it was not brought to me in a way of like pushed on me, you know.
You wasn't violated in the process.
No.
No
So
one made a choice for you.
I have been sexually abused or whatever, but that had nothing to do with my choice of going into this line of work. You know, my trauma did not define me being a sex worker. No, my trauma kind of educated me on how to not have sexual predatorial behavior, to not be a sexual predator.
And that's good. That's really, really good. Let me ask you this. With you being sexually violated, what happened? Do you care to talk about that?
I was 11 years old. It was a guy that violated me. He basically told me this elaborate story about his daughter, and who he liked to bring over boys and have play dates with and stuff like that. very much a pedophile type of situation, a very much traumatizing situation, but it also educated me on predatory behavior. Educated me on what to look for. Because my mom and dad tried to protect me, and they weren't able to. Type shit. This guy was a family friend. No one expected this of him. When it happened to me when I was 11. I didn't tell anyone until I was like 14. Because it just was. I was so embarrassed about it.
Did it happen one time, or did it happen more than once?
It was just one time. So it was more of I was embarrassed about it because I knew that he tricked me. It was more of that. Like I knew that he tricked me to do what he wanted to me, and I just and I felt like I kind of didn't say anything because I also wanted to do something with his daughter, type shit, So at that age, I'm like, well, I can't. I was wrong for thinking like that. So maybe I shouldn't talk about none of it, Because at that young age, maybe I shouldn't be thinking about sexual acts on people. So maybe when it happened to me, it was like
you were 11. You were starting puberty and
right.
change.
Yeah,
How do this gentleman get into the conversation of any type of sex? Well, how do you?
I was okay. So he was just at the house. I don't even really remember why he was there. But it was like a friend of my mom's house. He was at. I was sleeping. It was early morning. It had to be like early, like 6 o'clock in the morning. Not even that early, right? Yeah, it was probably like 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, early morning, whatever. And he was laying on the couch. And I think I rolled over, and I think he seen like I had like morning wood or whatever, and he mentioned that. He was like, "Oh, we all have that or whatever." He was like, "Do you ever just like rub it against stuff or whatever?" And he just started talking about stuff like that. So it's just more about like I don't know, talking about it in a way, and I don't even know really how I got to that. Real. It was like that, and then it was like, well, then he started talking about his daughter and stuff like that. So I think that's really where it was. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
But yeah, that's how it kind of happened.
I'm glad that
he just really just touched me and stuff like that. It was just more of like he touched me type shit about it. That's about it. It wasn't nothing, no penetration or anything like that. But it was very much violation just because like,
you don't think that played a part as to why you are attracted to men?
Mm-mm. I feel like my attraction to men definitely came later in life, way later in life. So yeah.
What attracted you to men?
I guess by the time I was like into my like later teens, or early 20s, it's experimental. I feel like it was more experimental just because I'd already done like the group sessions. I'd already done like missionary and stuff like that. So being in group settings, I was more into like pushing the envelope, and it was kind of like pushing the curiosity, and then finding out that I like it, and that maybe I liked, it's the masculine, and the sharing of masculine energy that I liked, for as far as like being with men. It's a sharing of masculine energy. It's not anything of romanticness. I don't look at how I sexually attracted to women is not the same way that I'm sexually attracted to men, or like outside of being sexually attracted to them, like romantically attracted. Nah, it's usually a physical and a physical attraction and just like a chemical attraction that I have.
Have you been bashed for being who you are? Have you experienced
Cookie? Of course I have, Cookie.
How do you deal with that?
Huh?
How do you deal with that?
I don't know. I don't. Let me get real. I don't. Those people don't get space in my head. Those people don't get space in time in my day. They just don't. I just don't deal with them. You don't like what I do. Get the fuck out. Get from around me. Keep it real. Like I keep it real. It's just like, why are you around me?
I don't.
Huh?
I said,
What?
ask me if I give a fuck because I don't.
Right, yeah, and that's, I feel like that's the other part too, like my level of not giving a fuck, because even with this hand polish stuff, like that, people thinking that my masculinity has to deal with my nail polish. Like, I've seen some very femme boys that will beat up a motherfucking tough guy or whatever the fuck like that, so I'm just like,
Hold on, guys. Keep talking.
stop playing with me. Yeah. So that's all. I don't like that. In this, even Saucy Santana, I seen Saucy Santana in Atlanta airport last year, in March last year. And Saucy Santana is a real nigga, y'all. Saucy Santana wears nails, be having, got the makeup on sometimes or whatever, but that is that's a whole nigga, So it's just like, I walked up to Saucy and I spoke to Saucy, and Saucy, treated me like they should have, What the fuck? What the fuck? And it's just like, oh, my bad. Didn't mean to, to walk up on you like that, but I just wanted to say hi, hello. I love your music. I love what you're doing. Keep doing your thing. So that, in saying that, is don't underestimate people. Don't play people for weakness. Don't think that people are weak because don't think that feminine energy is weak. Don't think that feminine energy is less aggressive or less, or any of that stuff. And I'm very much okay with my ability to be who I am 100%, and I'm not afraid of who I am. I'm not afraid of people's opinion about who I am, because that does not define me. Your opinion does not define me. I was raised by a person that told me that, raised me in a way where clothing did not have a sexual gender. Toys don't have a sexual gender. So for me, I was able to play with toys, from whatever, I wasn't told, oh, you can't go in the aisle because it's for girls or whatever. I wasn't told that. So that's the other thing about my experience that I've learned from other people's. They don't share that. They were raised up to be very much colonial, the colonial idea of boy, girl, that's it,
Right.
And I just wasn't raised that way. I was fortunate to be raised by some real parents that loved me, because that's another reason why people run to sex work and stuff like that, because they may be a same-sex loving person. This is where I see my LGBT community folks that are within LGBT and sex work, is because they're not finding love at home, so they're finding love other places in different ways and things like that, and they're replacing this real genuine love with these other things. And this is why I like to speak up on my experience, because it's not the same. I don't have the same experience as others, and this is why I have so much glow and big ass smile about being a sex worker, it's not a dark, bad, evil, scary thing for me. It's been a very much beautiful experience. I've been offered, and I've been, spoiled, offered to people to take me on trips. I got a friend that wanted to take me to Brazil for his birthday party. They're just like, yeah, I definitely do. It's a lot of advantages. I've seen a lot of love. Huh?
How much does that cost?
What?
To ship you to Brazil for the weekend?
He paying for it. I don't know how much it's gonna cost him.
No, how much
everything. I don't have to pay for nothing.
cost you? Is he gonna have to pay you for you to come?
Yeah, he's gonna pay. Yeah, he's gonna pay my my rate, and he's paying for my trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Well, I've asked all of my questions. If don't nobody else have any questions, I guess it's a wrap.
This is a great show, Cookie. Oh my gosh.
It's a
I've
wrap.
enjoyed myself so much.
I'm glad you did, and I appreciate you for being honest. I appreciate you for being transparent. Thank you for letting me dig all the way in your shit and ask the questions people are scared to ask.
Right.
And look at you, get ready, huh?
Getting naked.
Yeah.
I got a little hot. I've been getting hot. I ain't take my clothes off yet. I said I was gonna get naked on this live. I don't want to be a liar. I don't want to be a liar.
Tell them where you once we finish with the live, where you tell the people where you're gonna be once we finish with the live.
Oh, I'm gonna be on the Kick app, streaming. Hoodie Based is my name on Kick. You have to follow me over
One more
there.
time, Rainy, put it in there for me, Rainy. Oh, there it is. He did it. Thank you.
That's my Kick username, so y'all can find me on the live side, y'all. So there's two sides of Kick. If y'all go into the Kick app, it's at the bottom. It says chat at the bottom, and it says live. Push that live tab, or at the top right corner, there's a little TV icon. Touch that live icon, and that's how you go to the live side of the app. Type it in the search bar, Hoodie Based, and you will find me. And I'll be live. I usually go live 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. daily. So, and this is, you can also find the lovely Cookie there as well. Cookie's on the Kick app as well. That's where Cookie found me.
She did her homework.
Facts. And I appreciate it, Cookie, for real.
No worries, baby. You have a good night.
I will.
And thank everybody for joining in.
Thank y'all. Y'all made this very spicy.
Mm-hmm. Are there more questions? I'll stay on for 3 more minutes. If you guys want to go ahead and chat with them.
Hey, please. Bring in the questions. I can't see anything on my side. I'm sorry. I was looking in my second in a backup phones for to see the comments. I don't know why Instagram it stops the comments on the lives. So for me, I can't see nothing.
I can see the comments. I guess because it's mine.
Yeah, it's because it's yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that I was able to see through the backup account, and that's why I seen the views going up. So I see y'all up in here. I see y'all up in here.
Mm-hmm.
Real bro. I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna make sure to share. You gonna keep this live up?
I am.
Okay, I'm gonna share it so people could come back and watch it. I know people that weren't able to stop through are definitely gonna want to hear some of the things that I dropped, because I did drop some things that exclusively I've never said, and that's why I said doing this does mean a lot, because there's a lot of people that don't really know much about me, and it's because I've never really having this opportunity to speak the way that I did with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very much appreciative to that opportunity, and I look forward to more opportunities. And then just congratulations on all the success, all your success. Because I see a lot more success coming for you. Yeah, and I'm excited for you. For you doing a great job.
So, all right, guys, it was fun.
It was.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap, y'all.
It's a wrap, y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Good night. Stop.